on the Broncos' initial depth chart.
I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't read it at all. They come in to me and he said, ask me to put this depth chart together. I gave it to the coach and said, just put it there. Anything, you guys know who's been working with the ones. Anything after that is a free-for-all. Okay, and if you put any stock into it, you're mistaken.
Yeah, it's just a depth chart, whatever. Matt, you called that.
I told you, we got 2 bites in. Finally, he just said, listen, you know what? Forget about it for now, okay?
Exactly. Hey, it's just a piece of paper. Let's head down to the field and check in with Alexis Perry. Alexis, Coach Fangio also has an interesting take on preseason games.
Yeah, that's right. You guys heard what he said yesterday. No one is putting any stock in this initial depth chart, but for some of those young guys who may have seen themselves on the bubble, this preseason game coming up this Thursday could be a huge opportunity for them. Coach Fangio said that he hopes that they as a staff will be able to give everyone sufficient reps this preseason because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they pick the right 53 guys who will give this team the best chance to win. On Thursday, look for the staff to call out plays that will challenge these young guys. The ones who could handle the toughest assignments will be the ones getting a longer look when it comes time to trim down the roster. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you very much, Alexis. Yeah, it's all about making plays and showing coaches what you can do. And one guy who's done that a lot throughout camp, Joe Jones.
Made a nice play yesterday. Great interception in the team period. Steve, one of the things I've been most impressed with about Joe Jones is his attention to special teams. He knows that if he wants to stick on this Broncos roster, he's got to be putting in the extra work. He did it yesterday, working with special teams coordinator Tom McMahon. He's been taking advantage of his reps, his added reps without Todd Davis. But I've been very impressed with just his mindset.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things that's special about him is he's proven to be a good special teams player, so he'll have to earn that backup linebacker position against a lot of good competition.
Yeah, he had 15 tackles in 16 games last season, and he said he's just trying to make the most of Todd Davis's time away.
I mean, it just gives me more opportunity to prepare myself for the season, and obviously preseason got to earn my spot first and foremost, but want to prove that I'm that next guy in, ready to go in, whether something like this happens, someone's out for a long time, like Josie did last year at Cincinnati, I was able to come in for pretty much the whole game, or whether it's a play or one drive, I just want to prove that I'm that next guy in, so I'm taking advantage of every opportunity I can get.
And Jones is doing that. He had a nice interception yesterday. And the secondary's really been making a lot of plays out there.
Yeah, Chris Harris Jr. obviously is the leader of the secondary. We haven't seen him get a ton of interceptions, but he's been doing a good job going against Emmanuel Sanders when Sanders has gotten the opportunity during training camp. Has done a nice job against Cortland Sutton. But, Steve, it's the safeties getting all these picks. It seems like every practice we see Justin Simmons with another interception.
I'm loving it. Loving to see the guys making plays. Now, of course, Chris Harris Jr. and Justin Simmons both had 3 interceptions last year. Chris Harris Jr. has 17 over his career, Justin only 7. But, man, I'm looking for those numbers to increase significantly this year.
Yeah, Justin Simmons made a nice play, interception on the sideline. We like to see Simmons making interceptions, but what he did afterwards, that's going to need some work.
Oh, you saw the Sally. Oh, yeah, Sue came up with it, man. Sue and Kareem came up with it, and I'm just the hype guy, so I wanted to join in. So it was just something we came up with. As Sue came up with it, it's really Kareem's dance. So yeah, I mean, you'll see more of that. You'll see a lot of that.
We hope to see a lot more interceptions, but what do you think about the air guitar?
I like the hip swing. The air guitar needs a little work. Steve, look at Steve.
Man, I'm not a celebration guy, man. Hey, make the play, flip the ball back to the ref, but it's kind of fun though.
They're not allowed to have fun out there, Steve? I didn't know you were like that, huh?
No. You have fun within the context of the game, but I don't want to overdo it,
Okay, all right. Well, it's time for us to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by former Broncos wide receiver Brandon Stokley. Plus, we'll get a sneak peek at Kareem Jackson's fashion sense.
The best Broncos banter each and every week, that is Broncos Beat.
When we even asked him about the defensive line and where these guys slot in, he said, look, I expect everybody to be able to play everywhere.
They're all in their quote-unquote contract year. That usually means that you play at optimum level.
Catch up on all the latest storylines with your favorite beat writers every Monday evening at 6:30 on TV 20.
For Chris, quarterbacks look at him before the snap and say, okay, I'm not going that way.
Broncos Beat for the most in-depth coverage of your Denver Broncos.
Broncos fans, sign up for the Broncos Fit 7K on Sunday, September 1st. The run walk takes participants through the Sloan's Lake neighborhood and finishes on the 50-yard line at Broncos Stadium at Mile High. All participants will receive a Broncos 60th Anniversary Finisher's Medal, a historical t-shirt, and post-race entry into the Broncos Fit Expo with players, cheerleaders, and Miles the mascot. Go to Broncos7k.com and register now.
I'm sure all the offensive linemen will want to get their picture with Mike Munchak and his bust there. So I think it'll be a cool experience for the players. Most of the players will dive in and experience it. Some guys will say, well, why are we even here? I'd rather be at the hotel, but that's the way it goes.
I've never done it. I've never been to Canton ever. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. As a pro football player, I mean, that is the highest level that you could possibly make it to. And I'm excited to see all the greats that have come before me.
Von Miller, never been to Canton, Ohio, and I think most of us would expect that Von's career at some point will end up in Canton when he is all said and done. We're back here on Broncos Training Camp 2019. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer, and very happy to be joined by former Broncos wide receiver Brandon Stokley.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Brandon, one of the things that we've talked a lot about is these second wide receivers. We've heard from Bradley Chubb, and he said, okay, as a pass rusher, I need to add moves. As a wideout going into your second year, or in your experience year to year, what kind of moves would you say that these guys need to add, or especially when it comes to Courtland Sutton and Deshaun Hamilton?
Well, I think you look at those guys, the game's going to slow down for them. They, as a rookie, what you're doing is you're thinking a lot. And it's hard enough to get open and be successful, but when you're thinking about every little thing and then all of a sudden the ball's on you, second year, you're more relaxed. The game is slowing down for you. And now you can start working on fine-tuning your route running. I think that's what you've seen from Courtland Sutton. And I thought he had his best day yet yesterday.
Deshaun Hamilton obviously working on a hamstring issue, and we heard Courtland Sutton say, hey, I want to work on the entire route tree. But what about a guy who's relatively unknown, Stokley? How hard is it for a guy like Trinity Benson and Kelvin McKnight to try and make this team?
Very, very difficult. You're coming from college where the game is one way. You get to the NFL, and obviously you're going up against Chris Harris and all these great cornerbacks at the NFL level. You're trying to learn an offense, and the game's moving so quick for you. It's really, really difficult. I think both of those guys have done a good job so far of giving themselves an opportunity heading into preseason games to make this roster.
What do you got to do? You just got to show yourself, or you got to make plays when it counts?
Whenever you get opportunities, take advantage of it. And that's the key, because usually those guys like that are undrafted guys, free agent guys, they're not going to get a lot of opportunities. So when you do get the opportunities, you got to take advantage of it and make plays. And both those guys have done a good job so far making plays and showing themselves. And then what happens then is the quarterbacks see the film and they say, okay, I have confidence in that guy to make a play for me. The coaching staff also has confidence in that guy to dial up a number for him to make a play. So they're doing a good job so far. Now they got to continue it.
We've seen both of those guys catch passes from Joe Flacco. In your mind, you've played on teams that have played against him. You've played with him. How has this transition been for him, coming to Denver after spending his entire career in Baltimore?
Well, it's difficult. It's not easy. You're moving your family out here. It's a different environment, different team. But I think also what it can do for you, it can re-energize you, rejuvenate you, and say, you know what, and kind of get you excited again to be playing football. Not that he wasn't before, but I know that did that for me. And I think you look at Joe and you look at what he's done. Obviously, a lot of changes have happened for him. You're learning a new system, new teammates, and you've seen this offense start to progress and get better and better, and that's what you wanted to see from him. So Joe's looking good, and I'm looking forward to watching him play Thursday. Maybe. Doesn't sound like he's going to play much, but throughout this preseason.
What are realistic expectations for this team, Stoke?
Well, I think you look at this team, and if they do the little things the right way, I like the nucleus that they're building. And obviously a lot of it comes down to the quarterback play. We'll see what Joe looks like and how much he's got left in the tank. But defensively, they should be great. You got the coaching staff, Vic Fangio and company. You got the edge rushers, Von and Chubb. Secondary-wise, these guys should be so good defensively. So if offense can get up to speed, I like what they have defensively. Tough division, but I look at the future and what they're starting to build here. And to me, the future is bright.
Stoke, thanks for coming on. Appreciate your
time.
Yeah,
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And you can listen to Brandon Stokley on 104.3 The Fan every weekday from 12 to 3. Now let's head back down to Alexis Perry for another check-in from the field.
Thanks so much, Phil. Yeah, while on the topic of wide receivers, good news. Yesterday, Emmanuel Sanders participated in 11-on-11 drills for the very first time. Head coach Vic Fangio said that Sanders is not ready to participate in all the drills completely. It is still a progression, and they're hoping that he will do a little bit more each and every day. With the Hall of Fame game coming up on Thursday, practice will be structured slightly different this morning, so don't expect too much out of ES10 today. But once the team returns from Canton, look for Sanders to be even more involved in 11-on-11 drills. Guys?
Yeah, we talked about all the rest of the wide receivers down there, but what about wide receiver number one? Looking forward to Emmanuel continuing to work his way back. So good to see him do some more team drills. Now we bring on Andrew Mason to the show. Mace, what do you think? Emmanuel Sanders looked pretty good out there yesterday.
So far, so good. I mean, he's just taking it day by day, step by step, bit by bit, a little more being added as he continues his progression, but looks on track for week one. That's the goal. It's not about preseason. Maybe if you get him in there in that fourth preseason game against the Rams, it's helpful, but this is all about being ready for week one. And it's possible even in week one, if he's going, he may not be full go. He may not have a full workload of reps like he would in normal games, because you want to make sure you take your time with him, make sure that he's back 100%, and that he doesn't do anything to potentially aggravate that injury or cause another injury related to it.
Mace, as a man of fashion, we're going to talk a little bit about fashion sense down there on the field. We heard Emmanuel Sanders say he spends anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month on clothes. Who has the best fashion sense on the team?
Wow. That number is insane.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't care what your income is. That is insane.
Vaughn always brings
That's
it.
That's $240,000 to $360,000 a year.
I know.
Anyway, Vaughn's right up there. I'm a little partial to kind of the old school. The best guy that I've seen over time was Clinton Portis. Of course, he once wore something on a team flight that looked a little bit like pajamas, but it was actually a suit. So that's hard to beat for me.
And Matt, you got a behind-the-scenes look at one of the guys down there.
I did. Mace mentioned it. Suits are huge. We've been seeing a lot of track suits lately, but when it comes to sneakers, okay, the sneaker game is blowing up these days, Mace. When it comes to sneakers, nobody has a wider or bigger collection at training camp than Kareem Jackson.
I hope my room clean. Giving people what they want, especially K-Jack TV. K-Jack's room for camp, man. Is what you guys came here to see, right? Got a few flavors here. Man, a little bit of everything, man. It's my my closet for camp. Everything has to be, comfortable. Something I can just slip on and go.
To see the full version, head to denverbroncos.com this afternoon. We'll be posting it later, or the Denver Broncos social channels. He's got a specific set of 3 that he is particularly proud of. We'll show you that a little bit later on. But, yeah, K-Jack said he also new suit every game.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Expect to see that out here.
And I remember when he first came to Denver, he had his own fashion line that he did himself. He said that he put that on pause for a little bit. Maybe he'll be bringing that back. As we continue on here on day 11, wrapping up the show now, what do you want to see today?
I want to see the veterans get some good work. I know they're not in pads right now, but between now and then this weekend, the vets are going to have about 4 to 5 days where they're not going to play real football if you're a starting line guy, May. So I'd like to see the veterans get some good work today.
Just stay healthy. This is a prep day, basically your only prep day for the preseason opener, so just make sure you get through okay and ready to go, and set the young guys up on Thursday to show their stuff and maybe make an impression.
Alexis, down there on the field, what are you hoping to see today?
Yeah, I'm with Mace on this one. I just want to see everyone stay healthy. I want to see the guys who are working back from injury get some good practice in today, start feeling good, warm things up, and get ready for Thursday. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, you know that they're going to do a quick little walkthrough on Wednesday morning before getting on a plane and heading out to Canton, but that is closed to the public. So this is our last show until Monday, August 5th. We'll be right back here at 9:15 a.m. bringing you a live look at camp. But that is going to do it for us for now. For Steve Atwater, Brandon Stokley, Alexis Perry, Andrew Mason, Matt Boyer, I am Phil Milani. Thank you for watching Broncos Training Camp 2019. Powered by Ford.